COVID-19 death toll rises to 2,293 in India. Now the total number of COVID-19 cases has also risen to 70,756. The number of active COVID-19 cases has risen to 46,008, which means added pressure on the paramedical staff out there. Maharashtra continues to be the worst affected state in the country with 868 deaths. As we bring to you the updated numbers as far as COVID-19 is concerned, the death toll due to the virus has risen to 2,293. You can see it on your screens, and the total number of COVID-19 cases has breached 70,000 mark and currently stands at 70,756. Also, the number of active COVID-19 cases has risen to 46,008. Maharashtra continues to be the worst affected state in the country with over 800 deaths so far. When it comes to India, the COVID-19 death toll has surpassed 2,200 and is inching towards 2,300. What more do you have for us?
Well, absolutely, Abhijit. 3,604 cases have been registered over the past 24 hours, and the number of cases and the number of, the death toll is something that is rising every passing day in India as the nation slowly eases its lockdown restrictions. Now, speaking about the landmarks or the rather grim milestones that the country has crossed today, it has breached the mark of 70,000 cases as far as the total number of cases are concerned, and the landmark of 46,000 active cases. And both of these have been breached over the past 24 hours, and the fact that the lockdown across the country is being eased is also going on to highlight the sort of situation that is there in the country, because clearly on one hand you have the lockdown being eased, on the other hand you have the number of cases continuously rising. Remember, the World Health Organization had also earlier said that the number of cases in India is large, but when you compare it to the population, it is not that large even. And the fact that the country is relaxing the lockdown, it needs to do it very carefully, and there needs to be strict vigilance which has to be followed as India eases its lockdown. But at the same time, given the fact that the number of cases are rising is something that will create a lot of panic. But having said that, the Prime Minister too has been assuring the citizens that the situation is under control, and the government is making sure that it does not really get out of hand as the economic activity across the country starts picking up, and various sectors that have been cratering over the past few weeks ever since the lockdowns were imposed. All of these sectors need some sort of revival, and also make sure they contribute to the economy of the country, which again comes back, which again strengthens the country's fight against the deadly pandemic. But clearly one thing that has to be noted here is the fact that even the WHO said that the number of cases in India will continue to rise, and various reports also said that the peak will be somewhere around late July. So clearly this is something that is this is something that is not a sprint, it is a long marathon. And this was said by an official from the WHO, who clearly went on to say that the fight against COVID-19 is not a short one. It will last for a very long time, and the countries will at some point or the other will have to ease lockdowns, make sure they have their economy going on at the same time while they are fighting the deadly pandemic. And complete lockdowns are not feasible no matter how economically strong a country is, because after some point in time they will have to somehow make sure that everything else also starts picking up, so that the fight against COVID-19 is supported with some sort of economic activity happening at the backdrop. And that is what India is doing. That is what various other countries, like we had earlier spoken about, US and Russia, which have been continuously reporting a lot of cases. Russia in fact being touted as the next hotspot of COVID-19. Even Russia has now even President Putin has now eased lockdowns in that country, of course facing a lot of flack, but clearly he went on to say that the economic activity is something that is important for the country, and that is why the lockdowns are being eased. Similarly in India as well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi clearly going on and saying that the number of restrictions, the number of rules and restrictions that are there are going to be eased every lockdown, and the relaxation which we are looking at is going to be staggered in its nature, and it will be made sure that the country is back on its feet while it is fighting the deadly pandemic on one hand.